Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Across the streams of hopes and dreams where things are really not. Come along if you can. Come along if you dare.
Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Side of your mind, but please realize you'll probably be surprised.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review and give my thoughts on Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 2. Season 3 is starting February 25th, coming up this next Sunday. And I will be trying to review each episode each week. May not always be on time exactly because of work, but I do plan doing a video on the show each week it airs. And I really can't wait because I did my review on Season 1, and Ash vs. Evil Dead in general is just a fucking blast. I'm going to say it again. Season 2 was a very, very enjoyable one yet again for me. And I really can't wait for Season 3 to get going, to kick off, so I can have an excuse to talk about it every week on this channel. It's so damn addicting. I am still a little bit worried about, because I've been watching it, in a Netflix style. I don't always binge watch hardcore like some people do. I still try to take my time. But it's going to be hard to go from being able to watch 2 to 3 episodes at once for me to one half an hour or less a week, and then I have to wait another week just to see another 30 minutes. So Ash vs. Evil Dead still definitely does benefit more from a Netflix styled type of thing for sure. Because I know they're gonna break it off with some really insane cliffhangers. I know they'll have to wait another 7 days, 6-7 days, whatever it is. I'm confused. It's after 1 in the morning. But yeah, I'm still very much looking forward to it. And Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 2, I liked it a lot. I still had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if I liked it quite as much as Season 1. I think I'll have to watch them over again sometime, which I definitely will. Don't get me wrong, though, I thought it was, fucking Baal. And it's funny I said Baal, but we'll talk about Bill in a second. I still loved it, but I do think it had a couple issues, potentially. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to go into every detail here. This is sort of a general, thoughts, kind of video. Excuse me here. A lot of time was spent in, Ash's hometown in, Michigan in this season, which I liked because I actually, live in Michigan, so it's kind of cool. Not the exact town that Bruce, Campbell goes into and stuff like that, but still, like seeing the state, on TV and stuff like that, and, or meant to be the state to a certain extent. So it was a lot of fun. We had Lee Majors playing Ash's dad, which I really liked. They really meshed quite well, I think, as the father and son relationship, although that was pretty brief. Spoiler warning in this video as well. I'm not really going to be holding back much if I feel like talking about something I'm going to, so, just a warning there. But I do think they killed off, Ash's dad a little bit too soon. I think they could have kept him alive. But, the show's pacing, I wasn't really overly surprised by it. It's sad though, you never found out the secret that Ash's father apparently knew, or, that really urgent thing he had to tell Ash. I don't know what's going on with that. I know there's some behind-the-scenes issues with some of the showrunners in this season. So I know I went through a little bit of a shake-up on that end. But, I hope they go back into that again. But I did like the stuff with Ash and his dad while it lasted, and of course his dad grows to respect him after learning the truth. about Ash, actually having to, kill his sister and, his briefly his fiance, and stuff like that. If that happened with Linda and everything, no one is gonna know about the demons or anything like that, or the Book of the Dead, Necronomicon, or whatever. They all just think he slaughtered those people. So he's like a disgrace to his hometown. No one wants him there, of course. Everyone is scared of him, but they also think he's just a piece of garbage, really. But of course, when shit starts happening, it's kind of hard to avoid that. Maybe Ashy Slashy isn't the worst of it. So I like that. I thought that was a lot of fun. I kind of like that they stayed at that location for more than one episode. In the small town he grew up in. But again, I thought his dad just getting hit by a car was again kind of expected because of the nature and pacing of the show. But it was a little bit anticlimactic for me. I always love Kelly, and I honestly probably have a little bit of a crush on Donna DeLorenzo's Kelly. She's pretty awesome. She's definitely one of my favorite female characters I've seen on TV in quite some time. And I just think the chemistry between her, Ash, and of course Pablo is even more on point this season. It's really grown. It's really become like a great, consistent thing on the show. Arguably one of the best things about it. But as far as like the threats this season, of course we still had Ruby, Lucy Lawless going around. But she has a different sort of agenda this time with Baal, this really terrible and manipulative demon that's out there. And she's she doesn't want to have to rely on Ash, but of course he's prophesized again, so she kind of has to meet up with him and drag him back into it, as much of a nuisance as that is for her. We also find out over the course of the season that the more time she spends there, the more she kind of becomes mortal or more human-like. So she starts to get along with him little by little, just here and there. She bonds with Kelly a little bit especially. And towards the end, it seems like she actually respects what Ash, decides, or what he, how he sees things. I don't know. So I like how she got more integrated with it. Although I didn't really like the double Ruby thing at the end, the Ruby from the past. I guess it made sense for how they set up the finale. But I seen a comment somewhere saying that the whole Ruby thing's a little bit overdone at this point. I think it kind of is, just a bit. As far as the main antagonist of Baal, I thought he was okay. I loved his entrance. He first comes out of the body. It's really, really cool, but he unfortunately never really gets that same sort of intimidation and intense factor back. There's no other scene like that again. I know after Steel that's a comedy thing, but still I would like to have felt more danger from Baal. So I was kind of glad he was killed off, or at least his end of it was dealt with at the end of the season. And I also thought everything coming back to the cabin again, again, it's not surprising, but it's getting a little bit old, just everything reverting back to the cabin and being tied back to that. It made sense for the first season, but now it's kind of, put it on something else here. But those are my main criticisms, my main gripes I just come up with off the top of my head. But really, it didn't really bring down the show too much for me. It was still damn fun and damn awesome as fuck. Okay. Ash vs. Evil Dead is one of the best shows on TV, no question. And there's still definitely a lot to love about this season. I like Ash at the mental institution. That was a lot of fun. Seeing him argue with the puppet and everything as Baal was in his head. That was really funny. It went a little bit far sometimes, not in the asylum, but there's another point where Ash's head literally goes into like a dead guy's ass. That's getting pretty screwed up. That was a bit much. I know it's over the top with its humor, and it's it's kind of the way it is with the show, but that was went from funny to kind of E. It's just kind of awkward and just not really E. I don't know. I'm sounding kind of weird. I know I'm not fully making sense right now. I apologize. I've just been working a lot lately, but let's see. I'm just going through some of the episodes on Netflix here. But yeah, I also like the thing kind of set up, you know, back to when he was in his hometown and they're questioning who is Baal and everything. It kind of had that, you know, sort of thing, paranoia of who is really this creature and stuff like that. So that was a highlight as well. And yeah, I also like the stuff that Ash was in when he was manipulated to go after, you know, Kelly and Pablo and the others. You know, when Hefe went after him, they're actually NECA's actually releasing a figure of that, which is pretty cool. Although I really want them to make it Kelly and Pablo. Come on. Let's see. And oh yeah, and the Ash's car, of course, the Delta being possessed. I thought it was, you know, I guess kind of expected at some point, but you know, I thought it was a little bit generic. It felt a little bit, I don't know. I'm not really explaining things well. Let's see. And you know, I did like the thread of, you know, the I forget what they're called exactly, but Ruby's children. I do think they look creepier as kids, but I still like them remaining a factor. So that tie back to season 1. That's one kind of continuation I liked from it. And like I said, although I did like Ruby being more integrated with the group, it also felt a little bit unnatural at first, but kind of grew into itself as the season went along. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the second season of Ash vs. Evil Dead. I know I was kind of jumping around a lot, and I didn't really cover much, but you know, please feel free. If there's anything about the second season you want to discuss more, I'm definitely all for it. You know, I'd love to keep talking about it. It's just kind of late, and I do gotta get up early, but I want to get my thoughts out on the season. Overall, maybe not as good as the first, although I do think it was probably just as fun. I'm still giving it an A-, which is a damn good rating. You know, I hope you guys realize that. And I'm really excited to get into season 3. I can't wait for that. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. The next couple of videos, of course, are going to be my weekly Legends of Tomorrow review, as well as a review on season 2 of Stranger Things on Netflix. So be on the lookout for those.